welcome back here for Game 2 tonight at the NACL Season 2. I'm Egad, and here with me is Studio for what's going to be a very exciting second game here. As, Leon kind of got a little shut down there by LMQ. A 20-minute game. It brought us back on schedule, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but,
no, they had their delays, and they undelayed us right away. But poor Leon, they got roughhoused a bit. But that's okay, because we got Cognitive going up against LoLPro, not LMQ. Picks and bans have already started, so we can transition into there. But Cognitive, this is their newer roster. They went from, I believe, 1-9 to, I believe, 1-11 this week, but they're still getting better day to day. I like the team. They're showing drastic improvement. They've come close to being able to kind of overwhelm a game, but haven't really secured it quite yet. So hopefully, this will be the time. If you're a Cognitive fan, if not LoLPro, they've been pretty stable lately. LoLPro's really been solid.
Yeah, they got a con win, so they got that under their belt. And here we go. We got the Karagas Evelyn away from Cognitive, while Lulu Cassidy taken away from LoLPro. Nothing out of the ordinary there, except for possibly the Evelyn ban that normally gets targeted away from Inori anyway. But he's got Pantheon. He's got plenty of junglers he can pick from. And the final ban, I'm not sure where that's going to be targeted out. I feel like if they wanted to limit Kenny Yu, they could take away his Renekton or something crazy. But there's the Pantheon away from Inori. Ooh, excuse me. Little hiccup there. But, all right, LeBlanc's to be final ban, and there is the Elise for Heavensheim.
Nice, solid pick overall. At least that just reliable jungler can go ahead and land those stun, get those ganks off. A threat from level 3. Ashe being looked at by Kenny Yu, but I feel in terms of use, that's a brunch Yu move going for the troll pick.
There's Caitlyn.
Yeah, there's not Ashe. There's a lot of viable AD carries, a lot of viable supports. I would expect to see maybe a Caitlyn for the first pick and a Thresh follow-up, like you said. If not, they could go for an aggressive mid laner, but who's really open right now that can't be countered out? Yasuo would be the choice for that, and actually Pantheon not being around would be pretty nice for him. So overall, still a lot of really solid pickups, but normally AD carry support would be a pretty standard for this point.
Yeah, that Ashe though. Nah.
That Ashe, come on, go for the Ashe. Do it. I believe in the Ashe.
They won't do it. There's no way. They don't have the cojones to do that one single drop. I don't think he's ever played Ashe before. And there we go. They swap it up. It's going to be the Kha'Zix and the Leona.
And
so
Leona, that's a little bit surprising of a pick. Normally, Leona doesn't really make it in if Thresh hasn't been banned, just because you try and initiate onto Leona onto Thresh. Thresh sends a flay back, knocks you around. You cannot follow through with the initiate.
No.
It's a little bit of rough situation because Zenith Blade just is not that effective, but you still get good burst combos. You can still land the Zenith Blade. Thresh just has that outplay potential that most champions don't. It's like Thresh and Janna, I believe, are the two champions that can do that to Leona in lane. Everyone else just has to kind of take the stun and get hit.
So, surprising enough, Pro hasn't snagged up Thresh for themselves, so I guess they're going to let Lot and Low pick up their AD carry and support for themselves down bot, as it will be Jackie's middle Ziggs and Renekton for Haunter up top. We've seen them do some fancy outplays with that one. And going to see the possible mid, and I feel like the ADC is what they're going to pick, and they're just going to go for last pick, top, I guess.
Hey. The Ashe didn't work, the Graves won't work either.
Graves
nice
can
try,
actually
guys.
work. Graves isn't too bad.
Yeah, he's unpopular though, and Cognitive, they have done some outlandish picks, but nothing Graves level, I'd say. They're pretty meta-specific. We do have Kha'Zix now being selected, though. It's been a while since we've seen him, though. He's still powerful, still has that burst, but he did get nerfed, yeah. His leap doesn't scale quite as well, a little bit less damage on Taste Their Fear in terms of the evolution. It does less missing health percentage damage if they're isolated. Still a solid pick, though. You still have to look for a little bit of the snowball if you're not going to farm him up in the jungle, which with how aggressive junglers have gotten, you really do want to get those early ganks down.
And Graves is going to get locked in, so that's going to be the first one we're going to see here. And Leona Graves, pretty strong combo, level 6. You have some of the highest burst potential in the game. Solar Flare, and then the passive for the Sunlight procs. Graves can blow those up very quickly with Buckshot and collateral damage. Can escape, too, has a little bit of mobility in that dash. And the slow in the canister also. You can throw that out for a little bit of damage harass. And the blind is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it's a really high damage champion level 1 too. He has some of the higher auto attack damage of most AD carries, and that's something I think people tend to forget about. But if you can get into just a straight up 1v1 trade with his passive and his high damage, he is incredibly efficient. It's really surprising when you don't expect it, but like if Caitlyn and Graves man fight, Graves will actually just win that out with his better base stats. Caitlyn being looked at though, I would expect Caitlyn Thresh, could see Caitlyn Annie possibly. Still a lot of possible abilities for the bot lane. Caitlyn, though, can still punish Graves. He does have that shorter range.
Yeah, that short range is really the big thing that kind of tips him off from being one of the top three, you know, with the Caitlyn, Lucian, and Jinx is kind of filtering off, but Sivir's in there too. Looks like it's going to be Caitlyn Nami. Nami, not a bad response to Leona. You know, you can bubble on the Zenith Blade. It's very fun timing, and it's very, very cool to pull off. You also get a nice little healing lane to deal with some of the poke that you can receive. And that Tie Caller's Blessing, excuse me, is really useful to throw on a Caitlyn or anybody on that team.
And actually, what's fun about that is if Nami can go aggressive level 1 and Caitlyn can just push out, they don't have a good response to that. Zenith Blade, of course, means Leona doesn't have a stun at level 1. Graves himself is not that effective at level 1, actually has less range than Nami. Nami can really go for the pressure and the aggression in the bot lane. We've seen Lodo do this before on Nami, just go for crazy harass, try and control the lane by himself. The Tie Caller's Blessing does do pretty solid damage. So it could be a pretty cool high pressure lane from the start, and Lo can just be trying to carry it on his own. And of course, Lo packing that heal. That's just what Lo does. You're always going to see him with that heal on support. Definitely a big fan of it.
Yeah, definitely like Adrian from Teammate. Not Teammate, oh my god. From email support, there we go. But they were hovering over the potential Aatrox. I do like that pick, but Shyvana, Mundo, they're all the more standard, and it looks like it's going to be Mundo for the last pick for iCanyu to take it up against Haunter in that Renekton match. And Renekton's kind of been smashing Mundo in the face lately.
Yeah, Mundos are being dove on by level 3, level 4. Mundos are not surviving those dives, and they're just getting shredded to bits, because unfortunately Mundo really does need that level 6 to have that massive regen. His early harass is built off surviving cleavers. So Renekton can just sit in the minion wave, toss out Call the Meeks if Mundo shows up, and it's a rough lane. But if Mundo does well, he can scale up quite efficiently, be a super tank, and just never, ever die. iCanyu definitely a big fan when he can get ahead with those super tanks. I want to see if Cognitive can really get an early lead, because a lot of this straight-up laning, Ahri's really dependent on mana, can go very easily, has some trouble pushing out, especially compared to his Ziggs, who has some of the best wave clear in the game. So it's kind of an issue up top lane, an issue in the mid lane. Bottom lane can also get snowballed on super hard with that Caitlyn push. I want to see him get ahead. I want to see him get ahead fast.
I don't know, though, if Leona can actually help Graves out early on, and Kha'Zix can snowball. There's a lot of snowball potential on both sides, so the level 1 in the bot lane is going to be pretty key, who can shove out faster, but we'll see. We're going to be waiting for that to come through as we're in the middle bit of the spectator delay. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have the second game for tonight. But we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. You can check them out down below the stream. You see those three? You can check out Loot Crate, $13.37 a month. You get a nice little crate delivered to your door of the latest Gamer Geek swag, apparel, and goodies. Also, they have a shirt that comes in every month. So this theme is going to be Attack on Titanfall for, Attack on Titan and Titanfall that's coming out soon. And then there's Phoenix Peripherals. You can check them out at phoenixcollection.com. They have the best headset, mouse, keyboard, and mouse pad. There we go. Almost forgot it. On the market that you can check out there. And then there's Low Class.
Low Class is a great way for you and your peers to go ahead and get some cool personal time with some of the pros. What they'll do is they'll have a closed, limited stream, and you can ask your questions. The pros will then show the ins, the outs, the extremes of champions, how they exploit certain champions, all the combos, all the intricacies that you may know or may not know about some of their favorite champions. So, for example, we've had a Hotshot GG teaching LeBlanc. We have had the Alwyn teaching Jungle Pantheon, and it goes so in-depth. It's always a fun watch. So check out Low Class. But with that, we got LoLPro going up against Cognitive Gaming. Going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back here at the North American Challenger League.
The world I see is beautiful. The wonder takes my breath away. Nothing surrounding us will stay the same. And when I look into my soul, I feel something's about to change. It's growing stronger and it's taking a hold. I'm trying to find my way.
Hello and welcome back as we are loaded in onto the Rift and ready to go. It's going to be LoLPro taking on Cognitive Gaming, and I am Egan. Joining me here is League of Studio for what it's looking to be a possible early aggressive invade by Cognitive.
Yeah, they do have some good range CC. For example, Xanthblade could connect, or Nubby Pooh Bear playing Ari could start. With that charm, landing it over the wall definitely a possibility. So if we see some bad positioning coming out here from Caitlyn, Law, don't do it. Law's far in the bush too.
Oh, he got hit by the cleaver. We're going to see them look at that one. Xenoblade comes through. Charm connects as well. Laud is going to go down. Buckshot for the first blood. Goes right on over to single drop there in that 80 carry roll. So they're going to go back, spend, get some extra potions for the lane as you only get 280 gold for first blood. And very uncharacteristic. You usually don't see those level 1 invades.
And usually you see champions standing much farther back. Death sentences have been the only skills to really have a chance of connecting quite often. So unfortunately, Law just kind of danced on the brush a bit too far forward. Does get punished, but the gold difference not massive. So of course with the changes, getting one kill does not set one team massively far ahead anymore. So even though the kill did go to Graves, who will now have a Vision Ward and I believe probably an extra potion for the bot lane, it's not this unsurmountable lead. And that Vision Ward pretty neat actually. I like that as a good response by especially in the 80 carry support lane because they want to push hard anyways. So if their focus is pushing hard, they can keep that Vision Ward alive, deny vision, and possibly set up some earlier ganks than you normally expect from Liquid and Nori.
Oh, wow.
Oh, just going for the River Ward. Dang.
That's going to get cleared out very quick, though.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, there he goes. Hanser, they might actually contest him here. Auto attack's going to come through. We're going to see IKNU force him to go into an unfavorable spot. Cleaver not going to connect out, though, and a little bit of wasted time.
Yeah.
Single drop. Now going to miss out possibly on a bit of CS here due to that. So he's going to have to run all the way back to bot lane, and Hanser still will be able to get the ward.
Yeah, it's going to be an extra 30 gold into Hanser's coffers, and yeah, that bottom lane experience and gold being missed out. This is the start of a Caitlyn push. This is actually really, really bad for Cognitive. They might be behind in the bot lane, despite the fact that they got that early first blood. The gold kind of wasted on the Vision Ward. It did clear out a shorter ward, but nothing long term, and now being pushed in by Caitlyn Nami to go in onto Low. Low should be able to just walk out of this, though.
Yeah, he's able to walk out. He eats the auto attack and some damage from Ions there. But single drop did the smart thing. He went back to hitting Laud as soon as he got the one proc off. Haven't really talked about the mid matchup at all, really. Zig's going to be farming up. Ari just looking to get that level 6 and engage as soon as possible with that. But
yeah, Ari just doesn't want to get pushed in. Does land a charm. We'll get a bit of damage off. Doesn't really have too much to follow up right now.
Satchel's forward. We're going to look to see Nijaki get some more auto attacks off of the bouncing bomb. And with no ignite, really limits his kill potential.
Yeah, it's a defensive start on Ziggs, but Ziggs can always just go for lane pressure, try and scale up, and Ari has trouble responding. A lot of damage on a single drop. We do have his Xanathblade from Ions coming to defend him, but he really can't, unfortunately, because that burst is just, it's so quick. You land a bubble, you land the Tideclar's Blessing with headshot proc, and that's actually all they really need to do between Laud and Low. They don't have to focus on all-ins because they have that lane pressure ward quite in their favor. Ahead by about 8 CS right now.
Yeah, so that early game is really messing up the bot lane. Bubbles coming through, Tideclar's Blessing, Pilt of Peacemaker, everything just connecting. While a dive up top comes in, IKNU flashing away from the Slice and Dice, but able to chase him down is Hanser, and they will get that dive. And the second kill of the game goes over to LoLPro in that top lane. We talked about it before, Hanser, and just in general, Renekton just kind of making Mundo's life really hard.
Hanser was even late to lane, actually, and Mundo couldn't do a whole lot. It's this really cool style where Renekton will push up the wave a bit, he'll get the wave flowing, but he won't hard push. And Mundo, he's below level. I think he's only level 2 right now. He can't actually survive the dive because he doesn't have Ignite to fight anybody off. He doesn't have his ultimate to run away. He can't really do anything in that dive besides toss out Burning Agony, which the problem is it just kills himself even faster. So a lot of issues with Renekton versus Mundo, and Mundo's just dying left and right at pretty much the same dive almost every time.
Ooh, he interrupted 90 cal Burnett there, but the bubble interrupted Graves' dash, and that's pretty much going to end that fight, but Low just going to go back into autoing. Gives the Tideclar's Blessing a lot, but he can't really find any autos. He's pretty low. Gonna chug his health potion away and go back to auto-attacking down those minions and pushing the wave out. But Ions is finding some good points to initiate here onto Laud, but can't really capitalize because good disengage from Nami comes in. We do have KNU getting dangerously low again up top, possibly going to die out into Hanser. Going to wait for that call to Meek in the sun while in the mid lane. Looks like WP are going to turn around with that Ari onto the Repelled Elise. She's not going to come down on top of him. A little bit of trading going on in the bot lane, but it looks like mid actually does make it out for both sides. Almost taking out Heaven Time though.
I mean, Nubby Pooh Bear could have actually died if Heaven Tide decided to sacrifice himself, but that would have been a 1-for-1. It would have given a kill over to Kha'Zix or Ari. Both of them very snowball style champs. You don't really want to give any of them gold. Instead, they're going for the safer lane pressure. Kha'Zix could try and jump onto somebody right now, but it would be risky. They still have Elise stun. Ziggs can only drop his Hetal Charge, try to escape. A little bit dangerous. And now Mundo back in the top lane. He's already used his teleport, already being pushed out again. A lot of minions dying to the turret. Bot lane, you can see actually engage onto low.
Are they going back in here? Are they going to fully commit here? The Ignite gets dropped down. Auto attack turrets. No, he's not going to die to the Ignite, unfortunately. With that heal to come through, he'll be able to get out while Lod is trading back and forth. Needs that headshot proc, but the barriers forced through. Piltover Peacemaker does not end up connecting through that wave, and just barely able to get out of there is the bot lane from Cog, while LoLPro's had a much better time there.
I mean, that was some awesome Ty-Color's Blessing action there, as Caitlyn is completely out-trading Graves. Graves having the better stats, but that extra magic damage coming out from Nami's buff, just giving Caitlyn that 1v1 advantage. And with that push going on, this is the Caitlyn snowball lane in terms of push. Graves falling further and further behind in CS, but you know, with Leona coming back to lane, even though Graves is low, Leona's tanky now, for she can probably start a fight with maybe just a buckshot proc.
Yeah.
They could actually start going for some kills
Triple
if lower
Dorns.
Lod.
What?
Get
Triple
dangerous.
Doran's Blade there
Huh.
for single drop. Looking for a lot of early game trading stats, and he'll get a 15 health on hit per hit with those.
I
They
believe
changed the passive?
it's actually 9, isn't it?
Oh, it's 3 health. Yeah, that's right. They
Yes.
changed it for 5. That's right. That's right.
So it's not going to be the most efficient. The issue here really is that, well, he'll be able to survive the early game. He should be fine for early game, but when Caitlyn goes and buys a BF sword, all of a sudden that trading gets a lot less efficient, and this is not a good setup for the mid to late game. Graves with Triple Doran's Blade, you want that Bloodthirster instead at ASAP, and they have to make some stuff happen. They have to push out, they have to get more CF, they have to start getting kills. They're already very far behind in lane though, so I understand the decision. If you're behind, you can't really farm for an item that you'll get later than the opponent, who will just put you even further behind.
And we see some Morty coming in towards the red side of LoLPro Stronghold. They find a pink ward, they'll take it out, no problem. And looks like they're kind of trying to prep for a little bit of Safer Dragon or a bait or something like that, or just those are early wards to see if Elise ganks mid lane. But still, that bot lane is huge ahead ball. Looks like a dive up top comes through. Cocoon, Ignite, everything going down. Haunter with the dice will pick up the rest of that kill. And that should be the first turret of the game going over to LoLPro side, as Haunter having a field day. While single drop, going to get chased out here by Law. They know there's 2 up top. Cognitive trying to make the smart call here to go for this dragon. But Ziggs going to look for some pressure. Throws the ultimate, only hits 1. And Piltover Peacemaker is coming over the side. The dragon's going to go through. And will it end up going over? Smite going to come out. Oh, no steal comes out. And it will be Inori securing that one. While they use the dashes to chase down onto Nijaki. He'll back out. Gets slowed up by the spikes, but nothing else further. They're going to be that first dragon of the game over to Cognitive, reading the Elise being top perfectly well, while now ICANNEU in more dive pressure here. Could be dove again, actually. The tier 2 up top is going to fall, so that actually doesn't make the dragon really worth it, because, you know, those turrets don't respawn.
Mundo just has no defense. Not even level 6 yet is the issue. He's been denied so hard by the pressure from Hanser, by the pressure coming out from Heaven Time. They have just not stopped camping up there, essentially. He has been forced back to base, I believe, 3 or 4 times, a couple times in a casket. But unfortunately, Mundo, if he falls behind, he doesn't have good wave clear. He doesn't have enough tankiness to really hold off the turret. He needs the ultimate, and he's needed it for a good few minutes. Now he has it, but, well, he's lost 2 turrets. Hanser can roam, or just actually, he's so far ahead with a good 20 CS advantage, with the double kills making that even bigger as well. He can just fight up top lane, and Mundo has no good response.
Oh boy, so now down bot, the pressure coming in from that Nami. Sustaining through, throwing out the blessings, and letting Lod do his thing. Has the headshot proc. We see a little bit of initiation from Ions there, but he shrugs it off, and it looks like the turn in the mid lane is going to end up falling as a nice rotation comes in from Haunter. But Nijaki gets caught up by a spear, not a spear, but the slow from the cleaver, and Nijaki will end up going down as ICANNEU will pick up 1. They're looking for 2 now. They will take down Heaven Time, and he's like, all right, you dove me 2 times. I'm going to dive you now. As the chase continues, oh, he flashes, looks for the cleaver and the void spikes, so they cannot find it to connect, and ICANNEU gets out of there, but with 2 kills under his belt, that helps him out tremendously from that top lane.
There you go. Now he's officially recovered. Now back in the fight, back in the game. Of course, he did go for a mid-game build with the Chain Vest going for, of course, the Sunfire Cape, so he's not on quite as hard as a recovery path like Graves is right now. Bomb turret still being pressured in. Graves, unfortunately, even with those Doran's Blades, can't really fight it out. That sustain on Lod going to be much higher, as a Vampire Acceptor does quickly outscale Doran's Blades, with Doran's Blade giving only 3 HP per hit. A little bit of damage on Nami Pooh Bear, nothing too massive, helps clear out the wave though. And this is an okay response. They're still behind by quite a bit of gold, but you know what? Mundo can now survive top lane possibly. Kha'Zix getting some assists, getting some gold in his bank.
Oh no, maybe the dive? No, it's going to be the Solar Flare to come in. Oh my god, Collateral Shot and Buckshot to do a bunch of damage there onto LOT. They're going to kite with this one with the Tidal Wave to come through. A lot in the pit, not in the pit, in the brush, going to be able to get the auto attacks out of the single drop. Can he get out though? It looks like with the flash from LOH, he'll pick up the kill, but now ICANNEU maybe going to be able to sweep this one through. On a killing spree after the kill, Lod looks for LOH. The Cocoon does not connect in there from Heaven Time. Needs this Cleaver to hit, but cannot find it right now. Still chasing this one down, though. The heal comes out. The Burning Rage is enough, and he's on a rampage as he tries to escape now from Heaven Time. Neurotoxin comes through. Cocoon actually ends up connecting. One more Spider Form. Venomous Bite comes through. The little Spiderlings. He's going to repel on top of it. Auto attacks. Is he going to get out? Neurotoxin. And the shutdown gold goes over to Heaven Time. Meanwhile, Nijaki in the Dragon Pit. I don't know how he ended up there. Gets taken down by Inori. Looks like Haunter will be able to take down this pink ward. Maybe not. He's going to be contested out by Cognitive Jungle in mid. He drops another ward. That one should be taken out very fast. And, all right, he'll go back for maybe a third loop around when Dragon's around.
He'll get that ward one day. One day that ward will go down. But unfortunately, that bot lane trade, that was going to be a, I believe, 2 for 3 total. But because I Can You died, giving that Rampage gold all to Elise.
Yeah,
Elise just got
plus.
a lot of money. And Elise is one of the junglers who you don't really think of her as a snowballer. But if she does get far ahead, if she does start really racking up those kills, you go for the double penetration build, Haunting guys, Sorcerer's Shoes, and her damage is just immense. I mean, Cognitive have had some good responses, but it's only really a good response on Mundo. Like, Ari's picking up some assists. Kha'Zix does have that one kill, which is nice. It's going to give him a little bit more gold to fight with, and Kha'Zix does really want that, I'd say, not Spectral Wraith, but Elder Lizard ASAP. Yeah. But no one's getting that much gold. I'm very concerned that it's only going to be Mundo who's going to be tanky, and everyone else is just going to be kind of starved for just their base gold.
So we have a little bit of a pause coming through here, so nothing crazy going to be going down. I don't know what it is. Maybe a little bit of lag on either player's sides, and we'll find out very quickly. But still, one Dragon in Cognitive's favor. They did lose those 2 turrets up top with that amazing push coming in from Haunter and Heaven Time there. So really nice job with those objectives. Looks like a little bit of lag for both sides.
Hopefully they can go ahead and just clear that up.
Yeah, it should be very easy. But either way,
I mean, what is a cognitive plan? How do you come back from this? Mundo, there's been a lot of roaming. Everyone's kind of everywhere on the map right now. Mundo has not been farming. That's okay because he's picking up kills elsewhere. Renekton's not split pushing top either because it's either go to the inhibitor turret or just push up and leave. And I think he'd rather just assert pressure elsewhere. If you are cognitive, how do you try and respond to like the roaming pressure from Renekton?
hope You can do the same with his teleport, which he did.
Yeah, there you go.
He got a total of 4 kills after all of his roaming, so it kind of paid off. The teleport down bot netted him too. He did end up dying, throwing over that huge killing spree bonus to Elise, which is a little unfortunate. But it looks like they fixed their lag. They're ready to go. Pause is going to resume right about now, and there we fade. So here we go as we resume the game, and it's only a rough 3,000 gold lead for Pro. That's something that teams haven't come back from before either way.
Well, what I'm worried about is Graves with a triple Doran's Blade. He's just so far behind compared to Caitlyn. Like, they're not that far behind in terms of CS, only about 16. Actually, it does land the slow into low.
Looks like they're trying to go in here. Zenith Blade connects, but not the buckshot. They're going to try to let Inori sneak his way through. There's a ward in that brush, so they know it's there. That's why he hasn't moved up yet, but he will actually keep moving up. Smoke screen comes in. They're going to go on to low here. A nice bubble to stop the rest of that, but it will be collateral damage from Single Drop to secure the rest of that kill with the help of Ions and all that passive damage. So, despite the ward, he just mobility boots himself right on in there and snags up a kill for Single Drop. The snipe comes out, and it will stop his back for Ions. So he has to walk his way back to turret and back in a safer spot. If he ends up getting sniped out underneath turret, that'd be really bad.
That'd be a little bit embarrassing, and of course equal out that gold difference. What can happen here is they might just take the turret in response because they saw all 3 champions recall. And Ions is, of course, well, actually he hasn't recalled yet because they stopped it, but he was so low on HP that there was no way he's going to stay to fight. So they'll get the turret in response. So in the end, despite picking up that kill, they've actually lost gold in the grand scheme of things. Now behind by about 3.4k. Rough for Cognitive, but picking up a little bit of gold, picking up that kill, it does give more gold to Graves specifically, and that really has to be the focus right now, because Graves, if he falls behind, his base damage is okay, but his burst combo will still end up lacking, and they really need to kind of amp that up, as also not getting that much gold. He's doing okay on CS, but still behind Jackie, still not completing that death cap quite yet.
Yeah, but Jackie's still 0-2, while there's 4 assists on that Ahri there, so going to be able to try to get his Deathfire's grasp out as soon as possible. Looks like LOH is going to roam for a little bit more. Possibly try to pressure the tier 2 in that mid lane or bot lane. Pink ward going to get dropped out. They're going to clear some as 20 seconds left on Dragon. Could be the next site for a big little skirmish or a game-changing fight either way.
Mundo does not have teleport up, and he won't have it up quite in time for the Dragon. So we might have a stall come out from Cognitive just waiting for that objective. But you can see, actually, IQ already going back to base. Gonna go for that heal up and then probably run towards the dragon. It's up in 8 seconds. Both sides know it. Both sides were very well aware of when it died. Cognitive killed them themselves. LoLPro saw it going down. So now is the question, who's going to take control of the dragon? Will we see a team fight breaking out here? I think that with a good snipe, with a good charm, this could be Cognitive's fight.
Oh,
but if not,
no, he did not.
if not, this is going to be LoLPro's fight to take.
They might try to force the smite out there, and he actually stole it. Wow, all right, so Nijaki stole away the blue buff with the mines, because they wanted to save smite for dragon now. So
he was out of mana. He was going to be low on mana for that fight.
that's not good. All right, so now a bunch of bombs going to come through. Cleaver's coming out, connecting out to LOH. They're going to try to kite away from this from the side of Cognitive. WPooper being very sneaky, as well as Inori. A good solar flare comes out, collateral damage as well. And it's going to be Heaven Time taking WPooper, who gets blown up in that fight. Doesn't even get a chance to pop his second passive from that ultimate, while Single Drop gets blown up on the side. Ion's going to get chased down here. Bouncing bombs come through. Haunter going to force out his flash, looking for the Hydra proc, but the bouncing bomb over the wall from Nijaki will snipe out Ions. That'll be a 3 for none, in favor of LoLPro and their first dragon of the game. So a nice fight by them, as well as securing a big lead now.
I mean, a solid fight from Cognitive. They had a really good solar flare at first, but what happened? They walked into the minefield, into the Lee stun, into the Nami tidal wave. There were a lot of ways for NabiPoober to get hit by something there, and it all connected. NabiPoober being eliminated in what looked like a really good initiation. And then after losing NabiPoober, they don't really have any control. Like, Mundo can try and CC one person with cleavers, but he's just not that threatening. And out comes a stun, out comes a follow-up, but of course, Kazik will just leap on away. A-okay.
All right, they pass the buff over to Haunter, so I'm pretty sure they're going to leave him up top for a little bit longer with that one. He's got his Hydra. I'm wondering what he's going to go pick up now. 125 CS. He's got 2 kills. He's very far ahead at this point, and
I'd want to see some magic resist first, just because Spirit Visage will scale with him. Yeah. And, well, Kha'Zix isn't that scary yet. Graves is definitely not that scary yet, as he's going for the Bilgewater Cutlass now. So he is just on a total recovery mode now. He knows that he's essentially utility at this point with a smoke screen. This is
later the Rune King IE build looks like what he's going for. So, and
that's gonna take a while both to finish up and scale, and it's gonna take a while before he really be that effective in team fights. As he's essentially a spellcaster AD carrier with just how much damage his raw skills deal, and how his base attack speed not that great, doesn't scale that well, and his range makes it a little bit lacking too. So he really is just gonna go for Blade than Rune King to help just make a solid nuke combo.
They are kind of camping out this brush though. They saw a Single Drop come out. They're going to bubble in onto Ions. NabiPoober though, they do not know that he is there waiting in the wings if anything crazy evolves or happens down there. He looks like he's going back to base though, so no 3v2 possible dive coming out from this Cognitive bot lane, but they're just going to let Pro farm. They're really kind of trying to make kills happen, and they're losing their lanes for it. Kickboard comes out. Inori going to jump right back away. No Cocoon to lock him up there. He'll just be fine to jump away.
They could have chased him down. Would have been risky though, because they don't know where Nubby is. The issue is that, well, NabiPoober, he can go for those kills, but they didn't know where Elise was, and they cannot win a 3v3 if Elise is there to back him up. Like, the straight up even team fight now for Cognitive is incredibly dangerous just because of how far ahead LoLPro is. So they're making kills, or trying to make kills like you said, but because they know they're behind and they're not confident going for these kills, they're wasting a bit of time, and the question is, should they just go for it, or should they hold back? Now they're going for it. They need to make some plays happen soon.
Oh, nice stun in from the Solar Flare. Collateral damage, buckshot, but the flash and the heal going to keep him alive a little bit longer, and it will be Inori flashing forward, being able to pick up the kill, gets the reset on the jump, but LOD will follow this one through. Bob comes in from Ziggs, does end up connecting to Ion, so he'll get that nice little assist. Heaven's Time on a killing spree, flashes forward, looks to Cocoon, cannot find it though. Snipe coming out from LOD, but does not pick up a kill. He'll be forced to barrier and dash away. Gonna try to hold this line here. He's gonna get auto-attacked, and he's gonna get zoned by the satchel there. Inori comes in, but it's not enough to save him, and Nijaki with a good play to zone him forward and get LOD another kill. So that was a really, really good play by Nijaki, and a bit of an overextension there by Single Drop.
Like, Single Drop was out of position, but that satchel charge, where was Graves going to go? He could wrap around the turret, still be in range for all the auto attacks. He could walk through the satchel charge, which you don't want to do. When you're a Graves that low in HP and that's surrounded, it's still going to be risky. In comes Mundo. There goes Mundo. There goes the chase. That stun, completely deterring him from doing anything at all. And 8,000 gold burn, teleport burn, which is going to be hugely important as Mundo is going to be the big carry. In comes Kha'Zix, but out goes Kha'Zix, realizing he's going to die. He did not get close enough.
Satchel Charge comes out. NobiPooper's on the other side, though. Lod does net forward, has red buff, knows that LOH is there, flashes forward, gets the Tycaller's Blessing. Now going to be able to do a bunch of damage, and Lod picks up the double kill as Inori tried to start a fight, and NobiPooper tried to follow him up, but with no Spirit Dash, it's so hard to follow. Bubble coming in now. They're going to go into I Can You, Trap, Bomb, everything. Body Drop waiting on the side. Gets spotted out by a War. Cocoon comes in onto I Can You. Two-man Solar Flare lands up there. Lod going to get poked in by Single Drop, though. Pops the barrier. Going to be the collateral damage. Close in on this one, but he will get taken down by LOD, who is dead now with him. But the kite continues. They pick up Nijeki. I Can You, though, going to fall down to Heaven Time, who will secure a double kill. And that was sloppy, as Haunter is now going in up top to split push. He's going to pick up the turret, but possibly give his life for it. He gets taunted, gets ignited, but picks up one. Not able to get away. And that will be the cleanup there from NobiPooper. Now inhibitors open up top. They're going to lose blue buff here. And LoLPro are looking really good.
I mean, everything just falling apart for Cog. I mean, that was actually a pretty good fight from Cog. They kited Heaven Time around. He actually had to walk around the blue buff area, and then both Leona went over the wall at the end of the play, and Graves just dashed over the wall. So they actually wasted a lot of time, but they're just so far behind. They could not pick up Ziggs quickly enough. He got the kite fight out. And Jackie playing Ziggs quite well. If you ever get into a situation where you're kiting a Ziggs, you just
I don't know if you want to do that.
Over the
Single
minefield.
drop. If he he's got Blade of the Rune King. He's going to try to kite this one out. Cocoon comes through. Spiderling. A little bit of damage. He's going to dash forward. Can he get it actually? Buckshot. All right. For the shutdown of 500 gold for him. So
as Law just chasing down NobiPooper. NobiPooper, he can't take much more damage or else the ace in the hole will pick up the kill.
Orb Deception. Going to see him get satcheled. Yeah, he's gone. That infused passive from Nijeki there. Going to be able to lay in the last blow to finish him off.
Yeah, of course, Ziggs will deal incredibly high auto attack damage because of his passive and the AP's healing on it. That's actually one of the things that I'm surprised hasn't been nerfed yet. He is really
pretty
scary.
much a Lich Bane.
Yeah, I think with the Lich Bane change, it is a Lich Bane now. Like Lich Bane,
his passive is Lich Bane.
he gets double Lich Bane when he picks up a Lich Bane. Like,
yeah,
Lich Bane.
Sadly.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. But Ziggs is quite powerful right now. But 10,000 gold in favor of Cognitive, and going to grow if Ion cannot escape this.
All right, here comes the slow, here comes the bubble, and the snipe as well. Bouncing Bomb does not connect, but Super Mega Death Bomb as well as Nijeki. Going to throw out the auto attack and the Bouncing Bomb for the kill secure as they look to push in onto this inhibitor and try to get that one at 21 plus minutes. And again, four-man squad coming through. DFG, and the Charm does not connect, but the DFG does. And he cannot find any other damage there from the side of NobiPooper. Looks like this inhibitor is just going to pretty much be free.
I mean, what's there to stop them? Cognitive can try, but no Ions, and they're just so far behind. That is a really strong push, with also Liquid Inori not in the area. Stun comes out, NobiPooper is gone.
Flash over the wall, ton of damage. He just blew up right there in about a second. Blade of the Rune King to try to kite this one out. Tidal Wave only hitting I Can You, though. Shrugging off that damage as Haunter, though. It's going to be the heal onto both of them, and he'll be okay. While the side of Cognitive have to decide on how they need to defend this base. Satchel Charge comes through. Bouncing Bomb not going to connect. Single Drop to clear out the rest of that ward, though. And with Super Minions up top, they could look for a Baron, or they could just look to clear out the last tier 2 in that bot lane, or in the mid lane, or whatever they want to do. So.
I mean, they can really do whatever they want. This is LoLPro's game to make a mistake, and if they screw up, that can be Cog's chance to come back. But if they're keeping up the pressure like they are so far, they're not letting those objectives stand. Low is caught out in the mid right now. Has some backup though from Haunter.
Ascension, he's gonna be sped up there. Haunter helping him out with some stun and some healing. He's
Helping
just
out with some
laughing
laughs.
off.
Oh,
Does
that's
not
gotta sting.
care.
Oh, this exalt is gonna hurt.
All right, does blow up Single Drop there, below half HP now with that turret shot too. Haunter does not care what they do to him. He gets healed up by Low. And Bubble goes into I Can You, does not have the sadism still. Charm connects into LOH. He's forced to pop that heal. Flash forced out from NobiPooper though. LOD with the red buff going to chase him out. There's a ward through that side. He's going to get a bunch of damage under him, but Solar Flare to counter this one. Mikhail's Crucible heal, ignite, and Ions will pick up that kill while it looks like Inori gets the kill. He does get the reset of the jump and runs away. No, that is Inori. And the Chill's trying to kite this one through. They got 2 for none so far. Looking for Ions as a kill. Haunter picks it up with the Cold of the Meek. And they do find NobiPooper, but they do trade off Heaven Time for that one, and I Can You gonna fall out. So a 2 for none turns into a
3 for 3.
3 for 3. So that's not too bad for Cognitive. They're still looking for more.
It's not the worst, but that was also a terrible fight from LoLPro. That was a 3v5 rush in.
Lod just was like, I'm
Low
going
was
in.
Low on HP. Yeah, Lod walked towards a brush that had no vision in it whatsoever, that had a Leona waiting to stun him up, and he got hit. However, they have so much more HP left on LoLPro, as Inori was forced to recall, and Graves just kind of camping back in base. Well, they're still losing the mid inhibitors. They may not lose it right now, as there is still a good defense coming out from Ions and Single Drop. So they'll keep it alive, but they still lost that mid turret just because Ziggs survived, Renekton survived. That's a lot of damage, enough to very quickly push down a turret.
She was looking for that talisman.
Yeah, it could have happened, but
Still cool.
I mean, actually, you know what? If you got a Zenith play, maybe that would be what they needed, but it's Ziggs who has Satchel Charge, it's Renekton who has Slice and Dice. It's really hard to lock someone down with a Leona CC, especially Leona on her own, who has to keep them there long enough for the rest of the team to show up. But looks like LoLPro grouping up one more time with the turret gone. Guess what? Naked Inhibitor. Just go ahead and punch right on through. It's a 10,000 gold lead in favor of LoLPro. It is dangerous for Cognitive to do anything right now. It's either give the inhibitor and lose slower, or try and fight this and lose now.
Looks like LoLPro are going to try to make them fight them and try to win the game now. Do you see the stun connecting in onto Single Drop? Cocoon connects onto Ions as well. Satchel Charge comes out, splits them both apart. Bouncy Bombs comes through, and this should be game. I don't know what they're going to be able to do here.
You know what? They can
Collateral
still make a
damage, Solar
mistake.
Flare. LED gets healed up. He just shrugs it off as well. Looking to see what else they want to do. The Mega Inferno Bomb goes down over onto the turret, and they force back the barrier and everything else. At a Single Drop, he's forced to go heal on the fountain. 2 inhibitors down. Here comes the Talisman. Looking for the chase. Cocoon is going to halt up by Kenny Yu. Xenoblade does not connect. Flashed into LOD though. He's by himself. Haunts will pick up the killing spree. Take down Nubby Bear. And Ions falls and follows suit. As the double kill to Nijaki will be off of Kenny. And will LOD chase this one down? Flashes forward. Looks for one more auto attack. Picks it up. And Single Drop goes down. And LOD secures that one. And that's going to be LoLPro versus Cognitive, as that'll be a very quick and fast game out of them. Very well played, and good objective control from them.
I mean, LoLPro, they've been on a rampage. They just took out Curse Academy yesterday. Cognitive just not standing a chance, unfortunately, after those lanes really busted out. And with that just dominating victory, LoLPro now, they actually tie themselves up with Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. So they were behind. They were about even score before, but they've really just been fighting out. They've really been gathering these wins. They're getting some momentum. They're showing they can compete with the big boys. I'm honestly not sure who's not a first place contender right now out of the top 6, because LMQ, Curse Academy, Complexity Black, Team 8, Cloud9 HyperX Tempest, Team LoLPro have all just been at such a high level of play. They're all beating each other. There is no one team that I can safely say will not lose a game for the rest of the season. Everyone's just so good right now.
Yeah, everybody has their on and off days. So we're going to be going to a quick commercial break, and then we'll have the third game here for you guys tonight. It's going to be Complexity Black taking on Email Support, so stay tuned for that. But with that, we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll see you soon.